My name's Angelo, and welcome to We Want Picks. This is the only channel dedicated to UFC picks and DraftKings lineups run by professional fighters and MMA insiders. Every week, I join Nick Newell, professional fighter, professional model, and ESPN Top 10 guest, along with Dan Kramer, UFC fighter, Bellator fighter, Ultimate Fighter alumni, and Jacob Lyons, a skinny kid from Indiana. And we break down every single fight, the betting odds, the DraftKings picks, and we set you up for success. This week, we're breaking down the Blaydes versus Lewis fight night. The co-main event for UFC fight night, Blaydes versus Lewis, is Ketlen Vieira versus Yana Kunitskaya. And I'm proud of myself. I nailed that one. I think this is the most lopsided fight on the entire card. We have $9,300 for DraftKings for Vieira and $6,900 for Kunitskaya. Anyway, it's again a closer fight than the odds say. I think it'll be a fun fight, honestly. I'm gonna personally, I didn't touch Vieira. I know the assumption here is she's gonna march forward, get her to the ground, submit her, and that's why she's so expensive. But let me push my pick off. I'll go right to you, Nick. What are your thoughts here in the co-main event?
I think Ketlen is physically a more superior physical specimen. Yana, obviously, everyone knows her because she was like the first person to step up and say, "Whatever, I'll fight Cyborg." So she went up to 45 and fought Cyborg. She's very tough, gritty, but not really a finisher. More like point fighter style. I think Vieira really impressed me her last fight when she fought Sarjaya Eubanks and outstruck her the whole time. And her other fights, she's been more of a grappler. I think that Yana has beat some pretty good people in the UFC and is tricky and crafty, but I'm gonna favor Vieira, but I'm also not gonna touch it at that cost. It just doesn't fit into my lineup with other people that I think will finish quicker.
Yeah, and I mean, and that's a ton of money, and I think she wins. I do think she wins, but to win, she realistically has to get this to the ground. I mean, she's got a ton of power, but she doesn't necessarily have the technique with the power. She just sort of wings punches. They're powerful punches. They're knockout power type punches, but she just throws them out there. She has very good grappling, and I think that's why the odds are the way that they are. She's going to, take down Yana and get that submission. But Dan, what are your thoughts on the co-main event here? Do you think this is as much of a mismatch as presented?
No, not necessarily. Stylistically, it's a weird one, I think. I mean, watching Vieira, she's beaten a lot of tough girls. Her only loss was first round knockout to Irene Aldana, who's very tough. She's got great jiu-jitsu. She's got power shots. She doesn't mind trading. She had a tough time taking Sarge Eubanks down the whole fight. Didn't seem like she really set up her shots that well. Didn't have much of an entry for like a double leg or anything like that. So she did get one takedown. It was a trip in the second round, I believe, but didn't do a whole lot on top. So and the striking I thought was pretty close back and forth. I thought that fight was closer than the judges saw it. And then we got Kunitskaya, who's her last two fights. It's like her game plan was to clinch you and hold you against the cage. She did that against Stoliarenko in her last fight. And it's weird because normally you clinch someone against the cage with a plan to get a takedown. She did the clinch against the cage, but did not want a takedown, to the point where Stoliarenko was literally like pulling guard and trying to like wall walk down to get on the ground. So just stylistically, I think if Kunitskaya tries to play that game again, it could make it a boring, low-scoring fight. So I don't see a lot of value in either of them because I think Vieira is better and will win. But for $9,300, if Kunitskaya is going to try to clinch and do that type of game plan again, I could just see it being a low pace, low scoring fight. So I think Vieira wins. I think she's better. I think she's got heavier hands, better jiu-jitsu, but I am not touching this for DraftKings.
So Jacob, what's your pick here? We're all leaning towards Vieira as she's going to win this fight. She should win this fight, but at $9,300, that's a lot of money to spend. Did you put in your lineup? Who do you think wins?
Yeah, so originally I had Vieira in my lineup, and then I started watching tape on her, and she just doesn't seem like she does enough to me to justify the $9,300. So I took her out of my lineup. I think she's definitely going to win, but I think it's closer than people think. But yeah, she's not in my lineup.
Yeah, so I think we're all on the same page. Everyone has Vieira to win. Nobody wants to spend the $9,300 to squeeze her into their DraftKings lineup because, yes, she'll win. We just don't know if it'll be, the 100+ points that you're looking for out of somebody at that price. And that's interesting. As we move into the main event, let's see what we do there. Before you go, check out the description below. In there, we have links to our Facebook, our Twitter, our Instagram, and more importantly, to our DraftKings League. Check out the league, join the league, participate in the contests, and as we get going and as you start winning, we're going to start handing out gift cards and participating and doing things like that. So check those out. Every week, there are drops on every fight card. So make sure you check out this channel and our social media on Saturday before the fights start so that you have our most updated lineups and picks.